Rāmānanda. Jai Advaita Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Can someone please begin to read?
Can I read?
Yeah, please.
The word klim added to the Gayatri mantra is explained in the Brahma Samhita as the transcendental seed of love of Godhead, or the seed of the calm Gayatri. The object is Krishna, who is the evergreen Cupid, and by utterance of Klim Krishna is worried. It is also stated in Gopal Tapni Upanishad that when Krishna is spoken of as a Cupid, one should not think of him as the Cupid of this material world. As already explained, Vrindavan is the spiritual abode of Krishna, and thus the word Cupid is also spiritual and transcendental when applied to Krishna. One should not take the material Cupid and Krishna to be on the same level. The material Cupid increases the attraction of the external flesh and body, but the spiritual Cupid increases the attraction the super soul exerts upon the individual soul. Actually, lust and the sex urge are there in spiritual life, but when the spirit soul is embodied in the material elements, that spiritual urge is expressed through the material body and is therefore pervertly reflected. One who actually becomes conversant with the science of Krishna consciousness can understand that his material desire for sex is abominable, whereas spiritual sex is desirable.
So here Rāmānanda Rai is continuing to speak. He's saying Klim, by the word Klim, Krishna is worshipped. It's there in the Kam Gayatri mantra, right, which we read a few days ago. And Lord Brahma explains this as the transcendental seed of love of Godhead. Transcendental seed of love of Godhead. So Krishna is called, he's the original Cupid. When we say Cupid, what comes to our mind is the material Cupid, because our experience is all material. Our mind is material. But Krishna is the original Cupid, the spiritual Cupid. Everything in the material world is a perverted reflection of the original spiritual world. So there is a sex desire in the spiritual world, which is completely different than the perverted reflection of the sex desire here in the material world. That's all we know, because our mind is material. We are not able to understand what does pure love mean.
Spiritual sex is of two kinds. One is accordance with the constitutional position of the self, and other in accordance with the object. When one understands the truth about this life, but is not completely cleansed of the material contamination, he is not factually situated in the transcendental abode, Vrindavan, although he may understand spiritual life. In this stage, he can utter the calm Gayatri with the calm Bij, when, however, he becomes free from all bodily sex urges. He can actually attain the supreme abode of Vrindavan.
As Prabhupada he puts reference, no, that in the Vaikuntha there are many beautiful men, many beautiful women, but there is no the urge to enjoy sex as it is here in the material world. That is not there. There is only love for Krishna. Everyone has this desire to just please Krishna that comes out of love. That is our transcendental position. Each of us has this love for Krishna.
Rāmānanda Rai then explained that Krishna is attractive for both men and women, for the moving and the non-moving, indeed for all living entities. For this reason, he is called the Transcendental Cupid. Rāmānanda Rai then quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.2, stated that when the Lord appeared before the damsels of Vrija, Smiling and playing on his flute, he appeared just like Cupid.
Yeah, so Krishna is attractive to both men and women. Now we may think that what's happening, in the material sense, it appears, hey, what's happening? It's only men are supposed to, like this we have to understand it's on the platform of the soul, nothing to do with the body. So the soul has this natural love for Krishna, the natural attraction to Krishna. Just as the mother and the child, there's a natural bond there. It's just there. The child cries, wants the mother wants to be with her child. It's just very natural. Similarly, the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. We may be right now in male body or female body, but after all, we are part of Krishna. So that's why this attraction is there. And Krishna appears as the Cupid for the gopis. So it's called the transcendental Cupid. In our mind comes the material Cupid, but we should try and understand that Krishna is not material. This loving pastimes between Krishna and gopis are not like the loving affairs that we see here in the material world. In the material world, we see, oh, there's a romantic novel or a romantic movie, hero, heroine. So we are thinking even Krishna and gopis are like that. But no, what we are reading or hearing here in the material world is based on the body, whereas in the spiritual world is based on love. So we continue to read.
The different kinds of devotees of the Supreme Lord have different aptitudes and relationship with him. Any relationship with the Lord is as good as any other because the central point is Krishna. In this connection, there is a nice verse in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.1 that states, Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasures, and he is always attracting the gopis by the spiritual luster of his body. He especially attracts Taraka, Pali, Shama, and Lalita. Krishna is very dear to Radharani, the foremost gopi. Like Krishna, the gopis are glorified by Krishna's pastimes. There are different kinds of relationship with Krishna, and anyone who is attracted to Krishna in a particular mellow is glorious.
So we had heard earlier that there are 5 types of relationships. And then, of course, the highest relationship is the mood of the gopis, the conjugal love. One may be in the mode of neutrality, and one will be perfectly happy in that position because that's the natural inclination. That's the original position of that living entity. One may be in the relationship with Krishna as a servant, like Hanumanji. That's his natural position. He doesn't want to do anything else. He's perfectly and completely happy to be in that position. And he's celebrated as the greatest servant of the Lord. Well, everyone says that, oh, I wish I could have so much love and devotion for the Lord as Hanumanji has. So the different living entities have different rasas, but whatever rasa they are in with Krishna, they're completely satisfied in that because that's the original position. So here, of course, Srila Prabhupada is quoting Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that Krishna is attracting the gopis. Krishna attracts the gopis attract Krishna, and it's all on the platform of love. It's all because of the love. And they both are glorified in this relationship. So the relationship between Krishna and the living entity is a relationship based on love, not lust. This love in the material world gets perverted as lust. And lust in the pure sense, that the original emotion is love, not lust. Not lust. Lust is here in the material world, since material world is perverted reflection. So Prabhupada is pointing out anyone who's attracted to Krishna in a particular mellow is glorious. It doesn't matter what one's rasa is. when one is wanting to be situated in his original position, is glorious. Krishna says
Krishna.
in Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, na, so Mahatma Sudurlabha, Vasudevam Sarvam Iti, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, that one who surrenders to Krishna, knowing him to be the cause of all causes. He's a Mahatma, a great soul. So any relationship with Krishna is glorious.
Krishna is so beautiful, transcendental, and attractive that he sometimes attracts even himself. The following verse appears in the Gita Govind 1.11. Vi- Vishvesham anuranjanena jnanam anandam indrivara shreni shamala komalair upanayan angir anangotasvam avachandam rija sundari bhir abhitah priti angam alingitah shringarah sakhi murtiman iva madhu mugdo hari kridati. My dear friend, just see how Krishna is enjoying his transcendental pastimes in the spring by expanding the beauty of his personal body. His soft legs and hands, just like the most beautiful moon, are used on the bodies of the gopis. When he embraces different parts of their bodies, he is so beautiful. Krishna is so beautiful that he attracts even Narayan, as well as the goddesses of fortune who associates with Narayan.
So Krishna is the original Cupid. He's the most beautiful. And even Narayan wants to see him. There is a reference. Here, yeah. Prabhupada is pointing out this pastime. How Narayan is attracted by Krishna and wants to see Krishna. Maybe we can
In
read
Srimad
it.
Bhagavatam 10.89.58, the Bhuma Purusha, Mahavishnu, told Krishna and Arjun, my dear Krishna and Arjun, I have taken the Brahmin's son just to see you. Arjuna had attempted to save some youth who had died untimely at Dwaraka. And when he failed to save them, Krishna took him to the Bhumi Purusha. When the Bhuma Purusha brought forth those dead youths as living entities, he said, both of you appeared in order to preserve religious principles in the world and to annihilate the demons. In other words, the Bhuma Purusha, being also attracted by the beauty of Krishna, concocted this pastime just as a pretext to see him. It is recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.16.36 that after the serpent Kalia was punished by Krishna, one of Kalia's wives told Krishna, dear Lord, we cannot understand how this fallen serpent got the opportunity of being kicked by your lotus feet when even the goddesses of fortune underwent austerities for many years just to see you.
So the pastime is there in Bhagavatam where Mahavishnu, he steals the children of the Brahmana. He purposely does that because he wanted Krishna and Arjuna to come. He wanted to see Krishna, to have an opportunity to see Krishna, because it's very rare to see Krishna. And imagine that even Mahavishnu wants to see him. This is how attractive Krishna is. And then the wives of Kalia, they are saying, don't even imagine, we cannot understand how come Kalia has this great fortune that you're dancing on his head, you know. We may think, oh yeah, Kalia is a bad snake and that's the reason Krishna is chastising him. But there's so many bad snakes. Not all of them have Krishna dancing on their hoods. You know, it's a great sign of great fortune um, to be blessed by the lotus feet of Krishna. All the great sages are saying we want to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. We want to become a particle of dust at the lotus feet of Krishna. We want to have Krishna place his lotus feet on our head. And here, Kalya is having Krishna dance on his head. And so that's why his wives are praying to Krishna. When they're praying to Krishna, no, to pardon, to let Kalya be
Yeah,
kind
to
of,
forgive.
because he was almost going to
Forgive him.
die. I'm sorry.
To forgive him and let him live.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, to forgive him. So they're like, wow, we can't even understand what good fortune he's committed that you're dancing on his head. That goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, to see Krishna, she underwent austerities. She wanted to see Krishna. She's always with Narayan. She's always with Lord Vishnu, but she wants to see Krishna too. Although she's chaste wife of Narayan, but she also wants to see Krishna. This is how beautiful Krishna is.
How Krishna is attracted by his own beauty is described in the Lalit Madhav 8.34. Upon seeing his own picture, Krishna lamented, "How glorious this picture is! It is attracting me just as it attracts Radharani."
So, we see ourselves in the mirror and we say, oh, wow, so beautiful. Isn't it?
Yeah.
We look at ourselves in the mirror and we say, oh my God, this is the most beautiful person alive. Anyway, this is what Krishna is feeling, but we have to understand that Krishna he's on the transcendental platform. He's really beautiful. And everyone is attracted to see him. Like we just heard now, Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune, wants to see him. Mahavishnu wants to see him. Radharani is so attracted to him, and Krishna himself is attracted to himself because he's so beautiful. He's the most attractive, so he's even attracting himself.
After giving a summary description of Krishna's beauty, Rāmānanda Rai began to speak of his spiritual energies. Headed by Srimati Radharani, Krishna has immense energetic expansions, of which three are predominant: the internal energy, the external energy, and the marginal energy, comprising the living entities. This threefold division of energy is confirmed in the Vishnu Puran 6.7.61, where it is said that Vishnu has one spiritual energy, which is manifested in three ways. When the spiritual energy is overwhelmed by ignorance, it is called marginal energy. As far as the spiritual energy itself is concerned, it is exhibited in three forms because Krishna is a combination of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. As far as his bliss and peacefulness are concerned, his spiritual energy is manifested as the pleasure-giving potency. His eternity is a manifesting energy, and his knowledge is manifested as spiritual perfection. As confirmed in the Vishnu Puran 1.12.69, the pleasure potency of Krishna gives Krishna transcendental pleasures and bliss. Thus, when Krishna wants to enjoy pleasure, he exhibits his own spiritual potency, known as Ahladani.
Krishna, who can, because he's the most beautiful. He's unlimited. So how can he enjoy if he wants? So he expands himself. It's his own spiritual energy, his internal potency, Hladani Shakti. And that manifestation is Srimati Radharani. She is the one who can give him own pleasure because who can please Krishna more than himself? Because we are all living entities. We are tiny. We are parts and parcels. We are not unlimited like Krishna is unlimited. So Srimati Radharani can please him in that. She's his own energy. We think that they are like material boy and girl, but no, they are Srimati Radharani is Krishna's own internal energy. So Krishna has three energies: internal, external, and marginal. We marginal, although we are spiritual energy, because our size is very tiny, we have this tendency to become influenced by Maya. We're very tiny, so we have this tendency to be covered by Maya. So that's why we are called marginal. External energy is, of course, Maya Devi, the illusory energy, Mahamaya. And Hladini potency is his internal pleasure-giving potency. So Chit, his spiritual energy, yeah. So Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda is by this Hladini potency. Sat potency is by which he's ever existing. He's eternal. No? Sat. Chit is the knowledge. That's his knowledge energy. And the pleasure potency is Srimati Radha.
In his spiritual form, Krishna enjoys his spiritual energy. And that is the sum and substance of the Radha-Krishna pastimes. These pastimes can be understood only by elevated devotees. One should not try to understand the Radha-Krishna potencies and pastimes from the mundane platform. Generally, people misunderstand these as being material.
Yeah, that's the reason wherever we hear, oh, how Krishna has so many girlfriends, is so immoral, and so many comments we hear because we don't understand. Because we don't understand, and then we misunderstand it. It's the subject matter for liberated souls. That's the reason here Lord Chaitanya, Rāmānanda, Rāya are discussing it. They are great liberated. Lord Chaitanya, he's in the form of a sannyasi. So he's renounced the world. He would not even let a woman come near him. But here he is relishing pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So we have to understand it's not mundane. Bhagavatam speaks of Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. Sukadev Goswami is speaking. All the learned sages are there. The pure devotees are there. Vyasadev, Narad Muni, of course, he's speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Thousands of these Naimisharanya sages are there. So it's not a mundane boy and girl affair that is being spoken of. It's a matter of discussion of the highest spiritual. It's highly confidential, which can be understood by liberated personalities because they are on the spiritual platform. We are on the material platform, so we can't understand it. And that's how we misunderstand. But here we can see in his spiritual form, Krishna enjoys his spiritual energy. And that is the sum and substance of Radha Krishna pastimes. Krishna is transcendental, Srimati Radharani is his own energy. And he's enjoying pastimes with his own spiritual energy.
When the pleasure potency is further condensed, it is called Mahabhava, Srimati Radharani. The eternal consort of Krishna is the personification of that Mahabhava. In this regard, in the Ujjwal Neelmani 4.3, Rupa Goswami states that there are two competitors in loving Krishna, Radharani and Chandravali. When they are compared, it appears that Radharani is superior, for she is Mahabhav Swarupa. The term Mahabhav Swarupa, the personification of Mahabhav, is applicable to Radharani only and no one else. Mahabhav is full of the pleasure potency and it is an exhibition of the highest love of Krishna. Radharani is therefore known throughout the world as the most beloved of Krishna, and her name is always associated with Krishna as Radha Krishna.
Mahabhav. This is because the Srimati Radharani loves Krishna so much. She loves him the most. That's how she serves him the most. She's always looking how to please him. So she's also recruiting everyone else to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, because she likes to see Krishna happy. She loves Krishna, so she wants to see him happy. Yeah. So Mahabhav, only she is capable of experiencing this.
Hare Krishna.
I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shilpa, I remember you mentioned long time ago about Lord Shiva took the form of Gopi to see Krishna also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
yeah. So was Hanuman also I mean, taking the form of Gopi and seeing Krishna or something like this? Because I don't know why this
No,
question came to my mind.
yeah, that's all right. Hanuman, he's in Dasya Bhav. He's
Okay,
in the mood of servant, so he doesn't do that. He does not have that desire. He's perfectly happy being the servant of Lord Ramachandra.
okay. So Radharani is in the mood of servant also, or she
Yes.
she
See, the more we love someone, the more we serve them.
right?
So she loves Krishna the most, so she's serving him the most. But her mood of love is of a conjugal lover. So in that mood,
Okay, okay,
everything is included. Servitude, taking care, friendship,
right.
the amorous relationship, everything is included in there.
Okay, got it. Hare Krishna.
So here mentioned is Chandravali also, Radharani and Chandravali, just to make the pastimes more exciting. Intrigue is there. We hear a romantic story, there's hero, heroine, but there's another lady involved. Oh, what's going to happen? And there's so much more emotions that a person can experience. So to create all this, there is also Chandravali. She's an expansion of Radharani. It's just for the sake of pastimes, this thing happens. And also to show that how Srimati Radharani's love is the supermost excellent. Mahabhav, only she is capable of experiencing that. It's really, really like, love for Krishna. Love for Krishna, then it gets more and more condensed, as they say, it goes to prema, gets more condensed, it comes to sneha, like that, bhava, then mahabhava. So Lord Chaitanya, he exhibited this Mahabharata because he's taken the mood of Srimati Radharani. So that's the exhibition of highest love for Krishna. So they always, we say Radha's Krishna, Krishna's Radha, So it's the highest exhibition of love.
The Brahma Samhita 5.37 also confirms that Krishna expands himself by his pleasure potency in the spiritual world, and that these potencies are all non-different from him. The absolute truth, although Krishna is always enjoying the company of his pleasure potency expansions, he is all-pervading. Therefore, Brahma offers his respectful obeisances to Govinda, the cause of all causes.
So the gopis, as Srimati Radharani, she is his own personal spiritual pleasure-giving potency. All the other gopis, we can say a lot of the other gopis, are Srimati Radharani's expansions. They are her expansions, especially the principal gopis. Because she wants to serve Krishna more and more. She loves him so much, so she wants to serve him in a variety of ways. So she expands more and more. When we love someone, then we do so many things for them. We may become their secretary, their servant, their cook, their nurse, their I don't know what not, isn't it? So in that way. So Srimati Radharani loves Krishna the most. And the gopis are her some of the gopis are her own personal expansions. So again, non-different than Krishna. Krishna's own pleasure-giving potency. So it's not like mundane boy and girl affair going on there. We'll stop here for today. Are there any other questions or comments?
So in the previous one, we explained the Satchidanand potency, right?
Mhm.
The three and who they
Mhm.
are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Jai.
ki jai, और
Jai.
भक्तवृंद की जय. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.